Hello there, my name's Lee Eldridge. I'm an instructor that teaches at TMU's Graphic Communication Management and Creative Industries programs. One of the things I get asked a lot, especially by students taking the third year UX UI course that I teach, is how they can incorporate more design into their university education. I often advise them to look into the Communication Design minor, but I find that the entry about the minor on the TMU calendar website can be a little difficult to parse. There's a lot of information, and not all of it applies to GCM students. For example, there's a number of courses listed in the minor that GCM students are simply ineligible to take. So it's a little time-consuming and frustrating to really map out a path here. This video is intended to help GCM students navigate the details they need to achieve the minor, and hopefully streamline the decision-making process along the way. Now, before we really get into things, please keep in mind, I don't run the university, and things do change from time to time. So I'm putting this together with the best information I have today, but ultimately it's your responsibility to ensure that your course selections are going to meet your academic goals. Well, Lee said on the video is not going to fly if you're missing a course from the current requirements for the minor. So this is not an official document, the TMU course calendar is. Now, to give you an idea of timing though, I'm recording this just before our fall 2024 semester. So if you're reviewing this in fall 2024 or winter 2025, things should be pretty darn accurate. But the further we get from the recording date, the more likely there have been some changes in the requirements or the scheduling here. So with that out of the way, the Communication Design minor is probably the most popular minor amongst GCM students, and it's not hard to see why. So what do you need to earn a minor in Communication Design as a GCM student? Well, you need to complete 6 courses in total. Some of these are specific courses, and some of them you can choose from a few different options. So let's go through the different courses and the choices you're going to have to make to complete the minor. First off, there are 3 courses in the minor that are already required for your GCM degree. GCM 130, Design and Layout, Communications 279, Intro to Professional Communications, and GCM 230, Typography. I'm not going to talk too much about these 3 courses because, well, if you're looking to complete your degree, sooner or later you're going to have to take these. There's one other important note here though. If you look at the details page for the Communication Design minor, you'll see there's a stipulation specifically for GCM students. If you're a GCM student, you can only apply 2 GCM coded courses towards this minor. And because 2 of the courses required by both the minor and your GCM degree are GCM coded courses, GCM 130 and 230 here on the screen, those spots are already taken. So there's this restriction to really ensure you're getting a better rounded knowledge by engaging with courses outside of the GCM offerings directly. And what this means is that if you're looking at the minor, you'll see a bunch of GCM courses that I don't really talk about in this video. Things like GCM 738 Photoshop. Super popular course, many GCM students take it. But even if you do take it, it can't count towards the minor, although it still counts towards your degree in general. This is one of the weird little twists that actually prompted me to make the video in the first place. There have definitely been some cases of GCM students thinking they'd completed all the requirements of the minor to find out, sometimes too late, that some of the courses they thought would be applicable are actually not because of that 2 GCM course rule that only applies to GCM students. So just keep that in mind. I mean, you're still welcome to take those courses. It's not like you're banned from doing them. They just won't count towards the 6 courses needed for the minor here. So if we look at the GCM curriculum, we see that the 3 courses required by both the minor required by the GCM degree and applicable to the minor are in first and second year here. This means that assuming everything goes well for you, by the middle of your second year, you're already halfway to completing the minor without having done anything special or selected any specific additional courses. Not a bad start. So the next course that you're going to need to take to complete the minor is one that you're not forced to take in the general GCM curriculum, and it's this one, CRI 300 Digital Design Studio. This is largely an applied course. It's fully in lab, and at least last academic year, the focus was on applications like Photoshop and Illustrator and After Effects and WordPress. And it counts as an open elective for GCM students. So it fits into these green boxes circled here on the curriculum, and you have some flexibility as to when you might want to take it. My recommendation, though, is to take this course earlier rather than later, as it has a lot of foundational skills you'll end up using throughout many of your other courses in university. So between the 3 GCM required courses that we talked about a few slides ago and CRI 300, that's 4 of the 6 courses sorted out for the minor already. The next one we'll talk about is the first real choice you have in the minor, and that is you can choose Communications 448 or Communications 601. Now, if you like hands-on practical type work, I feel 448 is probably the right choice here. That course is kind of similar to CRI 300 in that there's a number of software application focused projects and workshops. Some students love that, lots of little low-pressure assignments and tasks. Others, maybe they want to have 2 or 3 big projects or exams and call it a day. Now, when Communications 448 ran in winter 2024, its focus was on Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop, and Miro, which is a digital whiteboarding and ideation tool. Now, if you're looking to expand more on the history and theoretical side of things, the other option here is Communications 601. It previously featured assignments like visiting an art gallery and writing up reflections based on that visit, making a zine, writing a research paper related to course readings. And I think there's also a midterm and final exam associated, at least in previous semesters. Now, remember, course details can change from year to year, sometimes considerably, and from professor to professor, but that's what these 2 courses looked like previously. The other consideration is that Communications 448 can only be taken as an open elective, so it takes up one of those 5 spots shown here and circled here. And remember, you also need to take up one of those 5 spots for CRI 300, so that's 2 out of your 5 open electives taken by courses for the minor. Communications 601, on the other hand, is an upper-level liberal study, so you have to complete 3 of those to earn your degree. I find many students run out of open electives in their schedule faster than they run out of liberals that they really want to take, so that's a factor here too. If you're in that position, Communications 601 might be the right way for you to go. Also, keep in mind that these 2 courses are anti-requisites, which means that you can't take both. If you end up taking 448, and then you're not sure what to take as your upper level liberal, 601 will no longer be available. So keep that in mind as well. Now, the last course you need to take to complete the minor has the most choice associated with it. You need to take 1 course from the Theory and History elective table associated with the Communication Design minor and shown here. Now, there are a lot of choices on this list. I'm going to try to whittle it down a little bit to make it a little easier to kind of, pick through. Now, we already talked about GCM students being unable to apply additional GCM courses to take the minor, so let's cross out that GCM 710, The Art of the Book here. You can still take that course, and if you're interested in it, you definitely should take the course, but it won't count towards the minor. So for the purpose of this video, let's consider it gone. Now, there are also a number of courses that have prerequisites here. So unless you've already taken other courses that are the prerequisites to these ones, you won't be able to select these directly. Sometimes they need more than 1 prerequisite as well. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to cross these ones out as well. If you're really into those subjects, you're more than welcome to plan out how you can get those prereqs and then take the course listed here to complete the minor. It's also sometimes possible to request an exemption to a prerequisite, but that's a whole other process, and if you're interested in doing that, I'll let you research based on your personal academic path how you might go about it. I think for most students, we'll just cross them off the list and make the choices here a little more manageable. Finally, 1 course on this list, NSP 558, appears to be delisted from the current calendar. And my guess here is that it's the same course as FCD 558 because they have the same title, and they're just cleaning up their calendar entries. Sometimes there's a program version of course and an FCD version of course on the books. So let's take that off the list too, since the NFP version will not be running, at least in the current year. There, that eliminates about half of them already, and leaves 8 options for us to choose from. Now, you can read the descriptions for each one of these 8. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but I will highlight a few things about where these courses might fit into your schedule. So for your degree, you need 3 lower-level liberal studies, and you take those generally in first and second year. IRL 100 listed here counts as a lower level liberal, so that might be something to consider. Those are the 3 spots on the curriculum that you could take it. You also need 3 upper level liberals. We talked a little bit about upper level liberals when we were talking about Communication 601, and these are generally taken in 3rd and 4th year. IRL 500 counts towards those, so that might be a good option if you like learning about modern art and design. Here's where the upper level liberals appear in the GCM curriculum plan. Now, if you run out of upper level liberals, you might be able to redirect some courses into an open elective spot, but that requires, again, some forms and some approvals and some review. So I talk to your academic advisor if that's something you feel you might need. Finally, there's 2 FCD courses highlighted here that can count as creative school core electives. Now, core electives are also often used for GCM concentration-related credits, as well as just for fun courses like GCM 753 printing. So that might be a factor here as to whether you use a core elective for this choice in your minor. The creative school core electives are circled here. There are only 2 of them in the current curriculum, which is really too bad because I think that FCD 558, that Intro to Design Thinking course, would be a good course for a lot of students to consider, but often they don't have the room. But that's it. Any one of these 8 will serve in that theory and history elective spot for the minor, that 6th credit you need, and have a read through the descriptions, maybe look up some reviews online, decide which one best fits into your academic plans and interests, and which you can fit into your schedule too. At the end of the day, you want to make the most out of your university experience. You will get way more out of taking the courses you are interested in over those that just check a specific box, right? Keep in mind as well that while you don't have to declare a minor before you start taking courses towards it, minors are also not automatic. Once you've got the courses you need done and you're applying to graduate, you need to select the minor through the academic records section of your student account. After you've done that, it'll show up in your advisement report. If you search Select a Minor TMU online, you'll find the step-by-step instructions for doing so in the search results there. Questions, comments, errors? Let me know. I'm always happy to have feedback here and improve documents like this. Big thank you goes to Stephanie at the GCM office for helping me with all the details on this. And of course, thank you for listening to me talk about a minor for like 12 minutes. We'll see you on campus. Take care.